All righty. In the chat, talk to me. Who's ready to get a breakthrough? Who's ready to get a breakthrough? Let me know in the chat. Yes, if you are ready. I see Atlanta's in the house. So again, just so you know, my name is Dr. Stan Harris. They call me Dr. Breakthrough. I always give a disclaimer. I can't provide a breakthrough. I just prescribe the breakthrough. However, when people file the breakthrough prescription, God Almighty provides the breakthrough they desire and deserve. And a breakthrough, it's exploding through barriers that at one time seemed insurmountable. And they tell me I'm supposed to wear these blue blockers when I'm on the computer all the time speaking. So let me do that. So all righty. So if you're ready, yes, I see you're ready. Okay. Kim is ready. Okay, from Atlanta. Bob says, yes, he's ready. David says, I am. Tiffany says, me. Again, Albana says, I'm ready. Okay. Oh, my goodness. Too many of you. I can't even keep up with this. So real quick, if you want to grab something to write on, something to write with. So somebody taught me years ago, they said the weakest ink is stronger than the strongest memory. Ooh, let me say it again. The weakest ink is stronger than the strongest memory. And the more of this gray hair you get, okay, you might want to jot a few things down. And again, my friend, I'm going to give you get this now, 7 powerful key words that help me to go. Again, my friend, literally, I tell people in life, I was just a mess. I mean, I was a messed up mess. And then I became a master and the grandmaster. There's less than 200 10th degree black belts in the world. And I retired also, by the way, as a heavyweight champion with Karate World Rating System. And won a few of the 10th degree black belts in Isshinryu, 10th degree black belts in the world, but my particular style is Isshinryu Karate. But I want to share with you how taking the martial arts changed my life. And not just my life, then it changed my business, my spiritual, every area of my life. And I'm going to give you 7 lessons, things I learned in the martial arts that I've been able to apply to life, to business, to my relationship. How many of you like to do better in business? And how many of you like to do better even in relationships? Or you like to do even better in your spiritual walk? Or just better in your psychology, right? I mean, listen, it was a place in my life where it was a dark, dark time. And anyway, but getting started in martial arts helped turn all that around because there's some 7 main principles, things they taught me that I implemented, I put into practice, but then I learned how to apply them in different areas of my life, okay? So real quick, let's get started, my friend. If you're ready to build a team, if you're in a home-based business, bigger and better than ever before, if you're ready, my friend, to be better in your business than you ever have before, if you're ready to be better in your relationships, have more happier marriage and so forth, get along with your children better and so forth, if you take advantage of these 7 simple principles, and I'll go through them quickly because I don't have a whole lot of time, I promise it'll change your life. And the reason I can say that is because it changed my life. So again, if you know my main message, every master was once a mess. Therefore, every mess can one day be a master. And whenever a mess or mediocre person becomes a master, you now have a message that if you market to the masses, you can make millions, okay? And so here's my story. So I got started in martial arts for several reasons. One, many of you heard my story as a 6-year-old boy. I was out in the middle of a field playing, and a gang of teenagers came my way, and they grabbed me, and they beat me up. I was just a 6-year-old boy. One teenager could have beat up a 6-year-old boy. And they beat me up. As a matter of fact, guy hit me in the stomach and knocked the air out of me. Have you ever had the air knock? You're trying to breathe, you can't breathe, right? And they start punching all over me, and the guy picks me up, and I'm crying. Man, I'm crying out, Mom, God, anybody help, somebody. And man, I'm crying out, I'm in pain, I'm scared to death. And they slam me on the ground, and they start stomping on me like I'm an ant or a roach, and they start kicking all over me, my friend. And you would think that was enough. I'm bleeding from everywhere you can bleed. I'm just a little 6-year-old boy. They flipped me on my back, I'm face up. They take a great big old bucket of tar and they poured it on my face. They poured it on my body. They took a bunch of feathers and they threw them on me and they left me there. And so my friend, so I just remembered, my friend, growing up being bullied and being told, you dumb kid, you never amount to be anything. And I had what I call a Popeye moment. Now, a Popeye moment, if you used to watch it, anybody used to watch Popeye way back in the day? Popeye protecting olive oil and the Brutus. Oh, yeah, okay, here you go. So here's the Popeye moment. He said, I stands all I can stands, and I can't stands no more, right? I mean, listen, I was like, man, I got beat up. I was tired of getting jumped on and bullied almost. I said, I'm done. I'm done. I just a little child. I made up my mind. I'm done. And listen carefully. My mom, all of a sudden, somebody says, people talk about coincidence. Well, my word for coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous. Because I made up my mind. I'm like, you know what? I'm not taking this anymore. I'm going to do something about it. Now, here's what I found out. See, and this is a writer downer, by the way. Pain and adversity, it causes some men and women to break, others to break bad, but yet others to break records. Ooh, let me say it again. Pain and adversity, it causes some men and women to break. I'm done. They just throw in the towel, but others break bad. They have a bad attitude and they're mad at God. They're mad at life. They're mad at everything, right? But then others of us, we learn to break records. So I allow that pain and adversity to push me to become a record breaker. And I've been able to break several records, but let me show you how it started. So my mom won the free month of karate lessons, and it's called Shotokan Karate. Shotokan Karate. Now, what I've studied is called Ishinryu Karate, but mom got started in Shotokan, which is a Japanese style. And I have 4 brothers. None of them came. I was the only one. And man, they're kicking and chopping and screaming. Her free month ran out. She started paying her money. Free is good, but if you're serious, you'll pay a little something. Well, she started every month paying and getting better. She's working out. She's practicing. I'm watching them. They're screaming, hollering, practice over. And so one day she gets what I call too good. Now, what do you mean by too good, Doc? Well, her and her boyfriend got in a fight and she knocked him out cold. Now, when I saw my little 5'1" mom knock out a 6'1" guy, I was like, I don't know what this karate stuff is, but this is the ticket. This is what I got to learn. Because again, like Popeye, I've stands all I can stands. I can't stand no more. I'm going to learn how to take care of myself. Well, I got started and I told them, I want to learn how to fight. I want to learn how, I'm going to get these guys back. They're like, no, we can't teach you self-defense until we first teach you self-discipline. I'm like, no. I don't want no self-discipline. I just want to learn how to fight, man. I said, no. If we teach you self-defense without self-discipline, you'll be like an uncontrollable weapon. You'll not just harm others, but you could harm yourself. So we won't teach you self-defense unless we can teach you self-discipline. I said, okay, I want to learn this self-defense so bad. I don't care whatever else you got to teach me. Okay, I'll do the self-discipline. Please get me started. When I got started, it changed my life. So here's the 7 things, the way they taught me, and I learned to apply these in life, and I'll break it down to you. Number 1, when I got started, they told us what to do. They told us what to do. Now, that's pretty simple, right? But here's the thing you understand. I call that communication, okay? That's a word you want to write down. 7 key words. The first word is communication. Have you ever gotten a job where they didn't communicate properly to you and clearly to you, and then you got in trouble and you're like, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to do that. All right. You know why? Because they didn't understand. See, there needs to be clear communication. Every business could be better if you had more, get this now, 3 things: clear communication, concise communication, and complementary communication. See, you got to be clear. See, here's the thing, my friend. You ever heard this term before? Well, that's common sense. But in the chat, put a 1 if you ever heard somebody say, well, yeah, that's common sense. Put a 1 if you ever heard that, yeah, that's common sense. Because I got a whole training called, there you go, right. Because I heard that most of my life. Guess what? I got a whole training called, there's no such thing as common sense. Now, I know people say that. But see, what's common to you may not be common to me. See, now, because they got me good in the martial arts, matter of fact, I never forget, I was in Chicago many years ago, and 5 guys decided to jump me. Now, by this time, I'm a black belt, and I'm, several, I think I was like a 5th degree black belt at the time. And I said, hey, guys, no, you don't, and they're like, Mom, we're going to get you. I said, well, and I told them, I said, well, I'm a preacher. And they said, we don't care, we're going to get you. I was like, well, I'm not just a preacher, I'm a black belt master, and they're like, yeah, right. And so they didn't believe me. So I felt like they wanted a free demonstration. So about 3 minutes later, all 5 of them laying on the ground and they believed me. And I'm just glad they didn't have any guns or anything, right? But here's what I'm saying though, my friend. I went from this little kid being beaten up, tarred and feathered, picked on all the time, to getting good in the martial arts. I'm gonna give you the 7 steps that happen, but you can apply this, because what happened, I learned that if it helped me in this area, it can help me over here. See, I'm gonna give you this, what I call formula. And a formula is something that works every time by everyone who works it in every situation they work it in. So number 1, You got to get good at communication because, again, my friend, there's no such thing as common sense. What's common to me, if 3 guys or 5 guys jump me, may not be common to you if you're not a trained fighter. Are you with me? So a lot of times, based on what we know is common to us, may not be common to somebody else. So when you speak to groups and when you're working with people, if you learn to communicate, again, communicate very clear, then communicate very concise. You know, I was speaking with Les Brown many years ago in London, and he made this statement that's so powerful. He said, the greatest speakers are those who take the fewest words and make them go the farthest. Wow. Wow. Take the fewest words and make them go the farthest. And so I learned to start trying to take things that I want to communicate and break it down to short little things where people can remember them. I mean, just it's short to the point. And so again, your communication. Look, if you want to be more effective in business, more effective in relationships, no matter what it is, again, they started off, number one, they told us what to do. So I understood as communication. So we got to get better our communication. Again, clear, and then concise, but then complimentary. You know what I found out, especially when it comes to your children and your wife and other people, and the more you just keep talking, after a while, you sound like Charlie Brown. Womp, 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 womp. So you got to communicate real quick and stop where they're like, no, I want some more, right? And so anyway, and we could talk about engaging communication, asking questions and so forth. But number one is communication. Number one, they told us what to do. Number two, they showed us what to do. See, here's another problem that I see today is a lot of people are telling people, they're saying things, but nobody's demonstrating for them. And, you know, some people, they're what I call their learning style is different. Like some people, we're kinesthetic learners, meaning we need somebody to show us hands-on, right? Some people are verbal and they can learn by just other people just by reading and so forth. But the kinesthetic learner. So here's what I found out. Number one, they told us what to do. That's communication. But number two, they showed us what to do, demonstration. So the guy didn't just say throw a front kick or a reverse punch. He said, here's how you do it. And he demonstrated. And he said, again, you twist your arm and you're going to hit with these 2 knuckles, because when you hit the 2 knuckles, that takes all of your power and puts it there. It's going to have a lot more pain than a person. By the way, if you see somebody punch somebody and they keep getting back up and fighting, they got hit with the flat part. When you see somebody hit somebody and they're knocked out, they got hit with the knuckles. Matter of fact, go ahead, let's practice on yourself a little bit. Just take your hand, if you could just punch yourself in the chest or on the arm, right, with the flat part, okay? And now take your knuckles and do it with the knuckles. Okay, put a 2 in the chat if you notice you felt it more when you hit with the knuckles, right? So again, flat part, one thing. Knuckles, right? Man, got myself on Charlie horse. There you go. So guess what, my friend? So again, when we do business, we're going to be successful in business, successful in life. We got to get good at communication. That's why you got to learn as much as you can about speaking. So, but not just number one, they told us what to do, communication. Number two, they showed us what to do, demonstration. And somebody said, I'd rather see a lesson than hear one any day. I'd rather one should walk with me than merely point the way. The eye's a better pupil, more willing than the ear. Find counsels confusing, but examples always clear. And the best of all, the teachers are the ones who live their creeds. For the seed of good in action is what everybody needs. For I may misunderstand you in the good advice you give, but there's no misunderstanding how you act and how you live. So number one, my friend, you're going to be more effective. You got to have what in the chat? Put in the chat. What's number one? You got to have what? Communication. There you go. Right. Number two, you got to put what? You got to have what? Demonstration. All righty. Demonstration. Now, number three, real quick. Number three. So first, they told us what to do. And again, that's what I call the communication. Number two, they showed us what to do. That's demonstration. But then number three, watch this. We had to do it. See, here's what's crazy. A lot of people come to an online seminar or training like this and they think, oh, I got it. No, you don't. Listen, you're just hearing something. No. See, the martial arts, we went to what we call, watch this now, martial arts practice. Let me say it again. Martial arts practice. In other words, they didn't just tell us what to do, communication. They didn't just demonstrate what to do, demonstration. They actually said, now you got to do it. It's called application and participation. By the way, that's why I have you in the chat. Talk back to me. Why? Because the more you apply, the more you participate. And by the way, it's time for some of you to initiate or at least participate in your own rescue. Because sometimes, you know what you're doing? You're waiting for somebody to come rescue you. Well, I got good news for you. Sometimes it just takes one person or just one decision or one action to change your life forever. Oh, by the way, you're that person. You must decide and you must take action. So again, my friend, how did I go from being a mess? When I started in the martial arts, I tripped over my own feet. They actually gave me a nickname, Bob. They called me Mr. Baboon and they laughed at me. But you know what? I said, laugh now, because one day I'm gonna be able to whoop all y'all. And that wasn't a good attitude, but it did come true though. All right, but here's what I'm saying though. I'm saying this, if I could go from that guy tripping over my own feet to being voted into the Black Belt Hall of Fame, becoming a champion, my friend, these 7 things is what did it. I just learned to apply it in my business. I learned to apply it in my marriage. I learned to apply it dealing with my children. I learned to apply it. And again, my friend, they told us what to do. They showed us what to do. We had to do it. And now here it is, number 4, watch this. We had to do it even more after we thought we knew it. Okay, let me say it again. I said we had to do it even more after we thought we knew it. In the Japanese, your teacher's called sensei, okay? Sensei. And I'm like, hey, sensei, I got this. He said, no, you don't have it. I said, no, sensei, I could even do it with my eyes closed. He said, no, you got to be able to do it to the point where it becomes second nature. Watch this now. It's called continuation, okay? So again, first they showed us what to do. They told us what to do, communication. They showed us what to do, demonstration. We had to do it, application or participation. But then we had to do it even more after we thought we knew it. That's called continuation. See, I like what Bruce Lee said. He said, don't fear the man that can do 10,000 kicks. Now, there's no such thing as 10,000 kicks. But in other words, don't fear the man that can do all these different kicks. Instead of fearing the man that can do 10,000 kicks, fear the man who's done one kick 10,000 times. In other words, what was he saying? That person that mastered it. See, in other words, it's great that you're here and you're listening to me, but my friend, that's just the beginning. That's just the bottom tip of the iceberg, my friend. See, we went to karate practice, not karate. They didn't just talk to us and they didn't just show us that we had to do it, my friend. That's why every time I say, in the chat, talk to me. You got to do something. Come on, you need to apply. But then it's got to be continuation. Okay, so continuation, and that is this, my friend. That is, again, I didn't understand it at first because I was like, Sensei, I'm telling you I could do this, and he's like, no, you got to keep on doing this. Now in the business world, they call it 10,000 hours. It's called when you do something. See, I'll never forget the day. I'm working out, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. And I never forget there was a period when I wasn't feeling like I was improving much. That's when most people quit, right? Most people quit. By the way, write this down. Oh, this is so good. Write this one down. They taught us this. And this will help you in your continuation, by the way. If while you practice, you don't want to quit, you haven't really practiced. Okay, let me say it again. I said, if while you practice, you don't want to quit, you haven't really practiced. Now, how did I apply that to business? If while you're doing business, you don't want to quit, you haven't even started doing business. So while everybody else was getting discouraged in their business, I was like, hey, if you're ready to quit, you feel like quitting, that means you're doing something right. Now it's time for your discipline to kick in. By the way, my friend, excuses, this is so good. Excuses will allow you to feel good today, but worse tomorrow. But discipline will make you feel bad today, but a whole lot better tomorrow. Oh, come on, somebody. See, again, excuses make it easier on today, but harder on tomorrow. But discipline makes it harder on today, but easier on tomorrow. So again, they taught us this. Somebody write this in the chat. If, that's right, yeah, Malcolm Gladwell to 10,000 hours, yes. But write it in the chat again. If while you practice, you don't want to quit, you haven't really practiced. And you need to attribute that to your life. Attribute that. So again, my friend, you got to live life to the point where you'll go through days where you're like, man, I don't even want to guess. If while you're living, you don't feel like giving up, you haven't really lived. So come on now, keep on keeping on. Edmund Burke said, he said, never despair. But if you do despair, continue on in despair. In other words, you got to keep on keeping on. It's called continuation. They told us what to do, communication. They showed us what to do, demonstration. We had to do it, application, right? Participation. But then we had to do it even more after we thought we knew it, continuation. By the way, consistency, write this down, is the key to mastery. Consistency is the key to mastery. See, you can't just hear something one time. I've got lessons that I've listened to and I've watched 20, 30, 40, 50. There's one lesson I've listened to at least 100 times, I know. See, write this down. Dr. Breakthrough says, you got to listen to the lesson until you become the lesson. You got to read the book. Come on now, you got to read the book until you become the book. Right? So here's the thing. So many people stop 5 feet from gold or 3 feet from gold. You heard that illustration before, but no. You got to have some consistency. Now watch this. My wife and I, we were talking. I call my wife my ABCD, my adorable brown color delight. And she was saying, most people are so inconsistent. I was like, no, baby, everybody is consistent. Now this one you want to write down. Everybody is consistent. They're just not consistent at the things that are worthwhile. They consistently quit. They consistently complain. They consistently give in. They're consistent. They're just consistent at the things that don't matter. You got to learn to get consistent at the things that are going to produce. And so, my friends, so they told us, they said, listen, you're going to want to quit, but your body is going to want to throw in the towel, but your will's got to say, no, you keep going. And in the martial arts, we say it this way. We forge our bodies on the fires of our wills. In other words, folks, we got to get back to discipline. See, champions, we do things when we feel like it. We do things when we don't feel like it. We have to keep doing things until we do feel like it. See, self-discipline is the breakfast, lunch, dinner, and sometimes snack of true champions. You just got to keep on keeping on, my friend. So again, is this helping anybody, or am I the only one? Is this helping anybody in the chat? Give me a 4 if this is helping you. Somebody's yes, but give me a 4. Give me a 4 if this is helping you, because we're on step 4 right now. All right. Are you ready for number 5? So number 1, they told us what to do. That's communication. Number 2, they showed us what to do. That's demonstration. Number 3, we had to do it. That's application and participation. But then number 4, we had to do it even more after we thought we knew it. That's continuation. By the way, isn't it amazing when something's new, the freshness, the newness, it makes it easy. But after a while, right? First get married, it's easy, but after a while. And by the way, marriage sometimes will be the hardest but most worthwhile work you ever do. Raising children, little is easy after a while. Listen, I'm telling you, my friend, you just gotta continue on. But then number 5, here's the key. The next thing is we had to teach others. That's called duplication. So wait a minute now. So they teach me, I learned my kata, which is fighting imaginary opponent. I learned all the different blocks and kicks and strikes, and I learned all, and now next thing I know, they're like, okay, now we need you to teach this brand new person. I'm like, huh? Wait a minute, I'm still kind of new myself. And I didn't understand it, but you know what I picked up? They knew, get this down, write this down. They knew that you learn more by doing and by by teaching somebody else. You learn more by doing and teaching somebody else. Here, listen, I'm going to challenge you. Grab one thing or a couple things from this, and I want you go live. I want you to go live and say, listen, I heard a 10th degree black belt teach on how the martial arts helped him, how 7 things in the martial arts changed his life, made him a champion, but also it helped him in business. By the way, in business, in the home-based business, I've been able to build a team of 1.5 million people. Right? So I've been blessed to have some great things happen. Speaking, I've been paid as much as $1,000 a minute. Now Alicia gets a big discount in Lorette. but anyway, but here's what I'm saying. But I started off bad, but I got good. And that's another principle here. And so, but I'll get on that in a minute. But watch this. We had to teach others. That's called duplication. So you learn more. Listen, you don't learn just by listening. You don't learn just by watching and observing a demonstration. You got to actually participate and do something, but then you got to continue on doing it. But guess what? But to learn it even deeper, you got to teach somebody else. See, if you say, I'm going to teach somebody something I learned today, you know what it's going to do? It's going to make you listen and apply even more. You know, one of the things, Jim Rohn was known as the foremost business philosopher. He's the guy that mentored Tony Robbins. But we were speaking, Jim Rohn and I were speaking years ago, and he made this statement. He said that one of the things about speaking, he said the audience gets changed, but also the speaker themselves get changed as they even hear themselves speaking. I was like, whoa. So I'm going to speak every time I get. I'm going to take everything I'm going to speak and teach people. I'm going to pull people to the side. I'm going to get on social media and make videos. I'm going to get on YouTube and make videos. I'm going to speak to people. Listen, my friend, duplication in your business. Get this now. It's not what works, but rather what duplicates. And here it is. Write this down. What duplicates is 10,000 times more important than just what works. Let me say it again. See, here's one of the keys. My sensei, my instructor, Grandmaster Walter Dobson, passed away years ago, decades ago. As a matter of fact, I got to speak at his homegoing. And by the way, remember I told you when I started, I tripped over my own feet. They made fun of me, called me Mr. Baboon and so forth. And I said to them, laugh now, one day I'm going to whoop y'all. Well, that came true. But guess what? Before my instructor passed, he said, now, Dr. Stan, we call him Dr. Breakthrough. He said, when I die, he inherits the whole system. He's the one that I'm charging to carry on my legacy. The little guy that when I started, I tripped on my own feet. The little guy that was scared to death, he used to get beat up on and bullied all the time. But what happened? I applied the things that he taught me. By the way, oh my goodness. Okay, I got to stop, but real quick. If you're willing to be bad long enough, you can get good. Let me see, you got to be willing to be bad or feel bad long enough to get good. See, sometimes you have a natural talent and things come easy. No. But to be a true champion, you got to be willing and committed to the process of being bad or feeling bad for as long as it takes to get good. If you do that, you can get good in anything. But that's the power of duplication. So again, in your business, you got to put together systems where everybody else can do it. That's why I got started in home-based business. One of my, a good friend of mine, Myron Golden, said to me, he said, Doc, man, the way you break those boards and bricks and you travel all over the world, he said, that's not duplicatable, man. People can't do that. And he said, man, he said, so you need to do some type of business where then you can teach people what you do step by step, just like you taught us martial arts step by step. You can do that. And so he was right. I got started in a home-based business and I've been able to teach people. But I'm telling you, these principles work anywhere. It worked in my marriage, worked with my children, it worked in business. And then real quick, so the duplication. Now write this thought down. It's okay to be a copycat while you're on your way to being your own authentic cat. Ooh, let me say that one more time. I said, it's okay to be a copycat while you're on your way to becoming your own authentic cat. See, there's a lot of people talking about be yourself, be yourself. Yeah, well, if you were so messed up as I was, being myself, I was a nobody, right? So I had to model somebody else, right? But then add my own idiosyncrasy. So here's the way I put it. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, but you must put your own rims on. Come on now. One of the gentlemen that I mentored, Willie Tubbs, King Willie Tubbs. I mean, this guy, I think he's taking some of my stuff. He teaches it better than me, and it's my stuff. I'm like, man, but guess what? He puts his own little rims on it. Come on. See, sometimes they buy the car at the car dealership just because of the rims. Hello, somebody. So again, it's okay to be a copycat as long as you copy in the right cat while you're on your way to becoming your own authentic cat. Let me say it one more. Somebody should put that in the chat. It's okay to be a copycat as long as you copy the right cat while you're on your way to becoming your own authentic cat. Because see, your own authentic cat is going to be a piece of this person, another. You learn something from this person, learn something from this person, and you put it all together, my friend, and now you got you and your uniqueness. And then I got to close. And then, my friend, not just do we have to teach others, number 6, we were tested. Oh, and by the way, the test wasn't free. We had to pay for them to test us. That's called elevation. Watch this. My sensei, and then when I became a sensei, same thing. And by the way, one of the beautiful things is not just for me to be voted into the Black Belt Hall of Fame, but to have some of my students voted into the Black Belt Hall of Fame. But now, just a couple of weeks ago, one of my grand students was voted into the Black Belt Hall of Fame. That's called duplication. Okay. All righty. So elevation, elevation. So they tested us not to flunk us, they tested us to elevate us. And then lastly was they congratulated us. Number 7, that's celebration and expectation. That celebration and expectation. And my time is up. I went way over. Let me just put it on a chart form for you a little bit. Maybe you can take a quick snippet of this if you didn't get that. And that has everything there. So again, they told us what to do. Communication, showed us, demonstration. We had to do it. Application, participation, take a screenshot quickly. Number 4, we had to do it even more. Continuation. Then we had to teach. That's duplication. Then we were tested. And we had to pay for it. That's elevation. But then they congratulated and expected more. The celebration, expectation, and recognition. And my goodness. And by the way, the breakthrough levels of learning, 10% of what you hear, 20% of what you see, 30% of pictures. That's why I put the picture up. 50% of movie. I showed you a movie at the beginning. 70% discussion. We don't have time for Q&A. 90% by actual doing. 98 to 100% by teaching. So I need you to grab some of this that I taught you today and just teach it to somebody else and watch and see how you'll learn it even better. Alrighty, well, I'm done now. Thank you again for your time. And again, if you just take a quick snapshot of this also, there are a few free lessons. I think many of you signed up last time. If you didn't, I've got a breakthrough daily attitude adjuster free. I got several free stuff. And there's paid stuff, but free stuff. Jot down the website, theinternetmentor.com. Take a screenshot, theinternetmentor.com. Just go there, my friend, and get one of the free lessons, and I'll be glad for you.
Hi, Dr. Stan. Dr. Stan? Hi, Daedrin here. If you want, you can do a quick Q&A.
Are you sure? I want to. Okay.
Yes, sir, we have some time.
Okay, all righty. Well, hey, let's do a quick Q&A. Anybody got a question about something that I covered? I know I went really fast. And who's got a question?
Okay, I'm going to open the mic. So if you have a question, you can just raise your hand and I will pull the mic.
Lisa.
Yes, thank you so much for that. Always amazing. Would you be so kind and go so quick to put the slide up with that list of things that you recommended at the end?
The yellow one you mean, or the red one?
It's the red one.
Oh, okay. The red one. Okay, good. Here we go. Get ready. Bam. There you go. Anybody else with a question? Lisa, thank you. By the way, Lisa, somebody else was wanting to ask that, but they were afraid. But you stepped to the plate and you weren't afraid. So thank you for doing that. Who else, real quick? Anybody else? Got a question or comment?
Dr. Stan Harris, can you hear me?
Hey, King Tubbs, I can hear you, champ.
Hey, can you say that one quote that you, the one that you taught me and you mentioned it today, which is being committed to the process of being bad long enough.
Feeling bad for as long as it takes to get good. So you got to
awesome.
Thank you. You got to be committed to the process of being bad or feeling bad for as long as it takes to get good. When I started in martial arts, I didn't just feel bad, I was bad. I tripped on my own feet. They called me Mr. Baboon. They laughed at me. But guess what? But I was committed to the process. I did say process. By the way, did you notice the difference between a little acorn and an oak tree? Inside that little acorn is a big old oak tree. But guess what? That acorn has to be planted, buried in the ground first, crack open and start. So guess what, my friends? So when I joined, I was like a little acorn. Now I'm like the oak tree that's dropping acorns all over the place and a whole field, right? But again, you got to be committed to the process of being bad or feeling bad for as long as it takes to get good. When I started speaking, I felt bad. I was terrible. I mean, the backyard and speak, and the squirrels would run, and the trees would bow their head like in shame. And you know what? But I just continued on. And guess what? I got good enough to where I got voted into not just the Black Belt Hall of Fame, but the Motivational Speakers Hall of Fame. So again, committed to the process of being bad or feeling bad for as long as it takes to get good. If you can commit to that process, I promise you, you can get good at anything. Does that help anybody in the chat? Give me a 5 if that helped you in the chat. If that helped you. Okay, wait a minute. Is that Susan?
Yes.
Johnson, okay.
Hello, thank you for this wonderful session. I'm glad I came in on time. I'm a tailor, And I want to take the conversations I have with my clients into internet, online. No, it's mostly helping them to understand how to get alterations done, how to get my passion is making sure they know their size and get the right fit. So I don't know how that could be monetized yet, but I kind of have some ideas because I use ChatGPT too. Of course, I'm in this group. So, but just getting it started, I noticed something that people do want to have the conversation. So I'm trying to figure out where I am in this process. I know the consistency, probably I'm at number 2. I don't know. But so I need some information as far as how do I don't know, how do I spark interest in this? Because I guess I know how to go ahead and do it and see.
Yeah, it's called ask questions. You gotta learn. So you gotta think about your customer, what pain points they have, and address those pain points that you have a solution.
Yes.
Right?
Okay. Yes, it's about.
So engaging questions are gonna, like, remember when I started speaking, I was like, hey, how many like to get better in your with your relationships, or better in your business, or what am I doing? I'm asking a question, I'm putting something in your mind. It's like, yeah, I want to hear this guy. I want to hear what he's got to say. Right.
Very good, Dad.
And by the way, there are people, Susan, here, this will blow your mind. There are people actually out there looking for you. You just got to make yourself more findable. Oh, let me say it again.
Okay.
See, here's what changed when I realized there was people out looking. Now, some people I'm over the top, and that's okay, right? But so many people so under the bottom, I'm fine with that. I just got to be me, right? But what I found out, there's people that love me. They love my energy. They love they love this, right? They love the fact I brag on my wife. They love the fact I talk about the Lord. I'm not afraid. They love the fact that I give these, right? And sometimes I'll say the same thing over and over and over again. You know why? Because when I'm done, you almost can remember what I said, right? So I'm doing it on purpose.
Exactly.
It's not for everybody, right? It's like some people say, well, that's not as scholarly as I thought it would be. Well, if I need to, I can totally promulgate my esoteric cogitations, my superficial sentimentalities. But anyway, so what I'm saying is, I just realized all I got to do is find the people, make myself more findable to the ones who are looking for me. And if you ask questions and put things out there, just like you came on now, asked a question, somebody in here might be interested in what you have just because you showed up and you asked that question. Does that make it? But do this. Questions. Go over to the internetmentor.com, the one that I put up there. Make sure you sign up for one of those free courses, because one of them is called The Art of Selling Without Selling, or How to Sell Without Being a Sellout. That will change your life, because one of the things is not selling things, it's selling your own self on concepts. And one of the things I said this today to myself. I said, people, by the way, in the chat, give me a number 11 if you've ever heard people say people love to buy but they hate to be sold. I used to teach it, by the way. Have you put a number 11 in the chat? Have you ever heard somebody say people love to buy but they hate to be sold? Put a number 11 in the chat if you ever heard that. Because here's what I say to myself every day, because I don't believe that anymore. I say this every day, and I know it's going to be too fast for you, but I'll slow as much as I can. People love, the right kind of people love to buy from me. And the right kind of people love to be sold by me. Because I only love to sell them what they want or need at a price agreeable to them and with customer service that exceeds their expectation. Let me say it again. The right kind of people love to buy from me. The right kind of people love to be sold by me, because I only love to sell them what they want or need at a price agreeable to them with customer service that exceeds their expectation. You got that? So the right kind of people, that's the key. The right kind of people love to buy from me. The right kind of people love to be sold by me, because I only love to sell them what they want or need at a price agreeable to them and with customer service that exceeds their expectation. Hey, I like, Karen says, I actually like to be sold for something I want. Exactly. That's why I said the right kind of person loves, the right kind of person loves to buy from me, and the right kind of people love to be sold by me, because I only love to sell them what they want or need at a price agreeable to them and with customer service that exceeds their expectation. I mean, I offered my newest book that came out, Kingdompreneur, on my website, drbreakthrough.com. I was speaking somewhere. Remember, I just taught you, so I'm going to demonstrate. So I spoke, matter of fact, Bob's on here, his group. And I said, hey, the first 100 people that go to drbreakthrough.com and buy my new book, Kingdompreneur, I'm going to give you the audio book. Now the book's only $20. The audio book is $30. I'm going to give the audio book free if you buy the book, Kingdompreneur, teach you how to do business God's way with God's blessing on your life. I don't know about you. I want God's blessing on my business, right? So I said, if you want the book, you go to drbreakthrough.com, buy the book, the first 100 people. By the way, there's a few slots still left. They didn't all buy them all. So if somebody over here might want, but anyway. So I said, I'll give you also the free, the audio book, $30, but I'll give it to you free. And I'm going to give you an 8-day, 7-night vacation to it's over 3,000 different locations. Now, it's complimentary, meaning number one, you got to pay a $20 one-time activation fee. It'll be active from 12 months to 18 months. Number two, you just got to pay the taxes. I mean, if you get on the Oprah Winfrey show and she gives you a car, you still got to pay the taxes. I've never played the lottery, but if you win the lottery, you still got to pay the taxes, right? So I've got videos of a guy that went to, a matter of fact, he and his wife lived here in the U.S. They went to the Bahamas and they were in a 5-star resort. They checked with some other people. They had paid $6,000 to be at that place. And these folks paid about $350, right? Because they were one of the first people to buy my book. They went to my website, drbreakthrough.com, bought my book, Kingdompreneur, and I gave a special deal where they'll get the vacation. I didn't give them the audio book. But then when I spoke for Bob, I made that offer. But you see what happens? People started ordering like crazy because why? For one, some people already wanted the book. Two, some people didn't care about the book, but they wanted the vacation. Three, some people would rather have the audio book because they're busy. They can listen while they're moving, right? And then some people are out of the country, so they're like, look, I know it would try to cost you an arm and a leg. You just send me the audio. But anyway, but I'm demonstrating. In other words, you Susan, is that making sense? You see what I'm doing? So, and what I would do, I would tell people now, you only want to get this book if you want to learn the secret of how I built a team of 1.5 million. How I work my business in such a way that I hear the Father by faith say, this is my beloved Son doing business in the way that I'm well pleased. Okay, don't get me started. Okay, Susan, is that it? Does anybody else real quick, or is there time up? I think we got.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Just one quick question.
Who's that?
This is David from Jamaica.
David.
You had started the presentation with a lovely gem, sounds like a memory gem. Is there any way that even after the webinar, you can put that in the chat or something? I do love it. It's inspirational.
Can you give me an idea of something like, let me see here, what in the beginning?
In the beginning, after you spoke about what we wanted, and you started with the first one, your first
communication.
On communication. Then between communication and the next step, you recite
you got to communicate.
It was a bit long.
Communication has to be clear. Mm-hmm. Your communication has to be concise. Your communication has to be complimentary. Was that it or no?
No, it was much longer than that. What I'll do, I'll probably, when I get the transcript, I'll look for it.
Okay.
Because it was really long. I couldn't get to write it while you were speaking it because it seemed like a brainstorm that just hit you and you just said it.
Yeah, sometimes things hit me
really
when
good.
Yeah, I'm a verbal processor, so sometimes things I don't plan on saying when I'm speaking. That's why I always tell everybody, I need a recording of what I said because I need to write some stuff down myself.
Yes.
All right, well, let's do this.
Great presentation, though. I love it.
Oh, well, David, I thank you, man. Make sure you go to the website and get some of my free trainings. I got some paid trainings too, but get some of the free training. But hey, real quick, let me do this. I'm done. Let me show you something real quick here. Can we have fun? So look on this board. Remember I said demonstration, right? So we need to break through our bad communication, no demonstration, lack of application and participation. We got to break through no continuation and break through no duplication, break through the lack of elevation and break through the no recognition or expectation. By the way, people do what you expectation will help them. So I want to break this real quick. Okay. This is showing you physically. Now, by the way, it's got a big old knot, so I should have got a better board, but anyway, it's got a big old knot in it. But I want to break this, demonstrating that you can we break through this, and man, we're going to be unstoppable. We're going to be beast, man. I mean, I'm going to be reading about some of y'all in the news. You hear what I'm saying? So I just need you to make a commitment. Physically, I break this. I want you psychologically to break through all the stuff that I talked about. Ready? So here we go. I say it's breakthrough time. Yeah. Come on now. So we just broke through all this stuff here, my friend. Come on now. So I even broke right through the knot. See, y'all never forget me now. Y'all be like, who was that brother that was yelling and screaming and broke the thing on his head?